Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Every single one of us wakes up with a choice. You can either rise and repeat the same day you had yesterday, or you can decide to get just a little bit better. Let me tell you something. The most powerful way to start your day, the thing that'll shift your whole mindset, your whole energy, your whole life, is gratitude. I ain't talking about just saying thank you when something good happens. I'm talking about living in gratitude. Waking up in the morning and before your feet even hit the floor, you say thank you. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for a roof over your head. Thank you for another shot at this thing called life. Because here's the truth, what you appreciates. See, too many people wake up already defeated. First thing they do is grab that phone, scroll through social media, check texts, get hit with news and nonsense. And now your whole mind is off balance before the sun even comes up. But if you just pause for a minute, take a breath and say, God, I thank you. I promise you, you'll feel something shift. Gratitude is the reset button. It calms your spirit. It gives you perspective. It tells the universe, I see what I got and I'm ready for more. Now, don't get me wrong. You might not have everything you want right now. You might be going through something, might be broke, tired, lonely, feeling stuck. But I guarantee if you really stop and look, you still got something to be grateful for. It could be the fact that you woke up, that you still got time to change your story, that you've got a sound mind, a willing heart, or even just a quiet moment to breathe. Some people didn't get that today. Some people didn't wake up, so you're already blessed and don't even realize it. See, what gratitude does is it opens your eyes to the good that's already around you. And when you see good, you attract good. When you complain, you push blessings away. But when you give thanks, even for the small stuff, more starts to come your way. It's a law like gravity. You can't skip over it and expect to win. I remember times in my life when I had nothing. Sleeping in a car, digging through pockets to find enough change for a sandwich. But I never stopped saying thank you. Even when I didn't see how things were going to work out, I'd say thank you. And let me tell you, every time some kind of door would open, not always the one I expected, but it always got me closer to where I was supposed to be. You gotta understand, gratitude changes your energy. You show up different, you talk different, you walk different, because you ain't focused on what you lack, you're focused on what you got, and what you focus on grows. That's why it's step one in improving yourself every day. You can't grow your life from a place of lack. You gotta grow it from a place of appreciation. Try this. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, take just 60 seconds and list 5 things you're grateful for. Could be your health, your kids, your job, your second chance, whatever it is, name it. Feel it. Let that gratitude fill you up before the world starts pulling at you. And if you can make that a habit, man, your life will change. Not just in your circumstances, but in your peace, your joy, your purpose. Let me tell you something else. Gratitude humbles you. Reminds you that you didn't get here on your own. Reminds you that you're not entitled to anything, but everything you got is a gift. And when you treat it like a gift, you handle it with care. You take care of your life better. You take care of yourself better. And that's the beginning of growth. I know people chasing money, status, recognition, but they're miserable. You know why? Because they skipped step 1. They don't appreciate what they already have. And if you ain't thankful for what you got now, you'll never be satisfied no matter what you get next. You'll keep chasing something that can't fill the hole. But gratitude, that fills you up from the inside. It gives you peace before the prize. So yeah, you want to get better every day. You want to level up, grow. Then you better learn how to say thank you, even when it don't look like there's much to thank him for. Because that's the key. That's the first step in the formula. Gratitude. Let me tell you something that a lot of folks miss. If you're walking around every day without a vision, you're just existing. You ain't living. You're out here letting life happen to you instead of you happening to life. And that's no way to move. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up anywhere. You got to have a vision. You got to know what you want, what you're working for, what you're building. That's step 2 in this thing. Right after gratitude, you need direction. Now, I ain't talking about a random wish or just saying one day, I hope things get better. That's not vision. That's just wish. Vision is clear. Vision is written down. Vision is personal. It's you saying, this is what my life will look like, and then moving like you believe it's already on the way. You got to see it before you see it. Otherwise, it'll never show up. Let me ask you this. What's your picture? When you close your eyes, can you see where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years? What kind of life are you working toward? What's your dream career? What kind of family you want to build? What kind of health do you want? Where do you live? What kind of people are around you? That vision, your vision is the fuel for your discipline. It's the thing that'll keep you going when you're tired, when you're broke, when you're frustrated. Because if you can't see nothing better, you'll settle for whatever life throws at you. I remember when I was broke, working jobs I hated, barely making it. But even back then, I had vision. I'd write it out, talk it out, see it in my head. I saw myself on stage. I saw myself living in a nice place, taking care of my family, doing what I love. I didn't have it yet, but I saw it. I believed it was mine before I ever touched it. That's how vision works. It shows up in your heart before it shows up in your hands. And don't let people talk you out of your vision. Some folks can't see what you see, and that's okay. It ain't for them to see. God didn't give them your dream. He gave it to you. So stop explaining yourself to people who ain't even trying to grow. You know what kills dreams faster than failure? Doubt. And not always your doubt. Other people's doubt that you let into your spirit. Protect your vision like it's gold, because it is. You gotta be intentional. Get yourself a notebook. Write your vision down in detail. Be specific. Don't just say, I want to be successful. Say, I want to start my own clothing line, inspire people with my story, make 6 figures doing what I love, and live in a place that brings me peace. That's vision. That's clear. And now you got something to aim at. The Bible even says, write the vision and make it plain. That ain't no accident. Writing it down makes it real. It gives your goals structure. It turns an idea into a blueprint. Now here's the thing about vision. It ain't just about the outcome. It's about how it pulls you forward. When you got vision, you stop moving based on how you feel and start moving based on where you're going. You might feel tired, but your vision says, keep going. You might feel scared, but your vision says, push through. You might feel stuck, but your vision reminds you, this ain't your final stop. That's why vision is essential to self-improvement, because it gives you purpose, and purpose gives you power. I don't care if you start small. Your vision don't have to make sense to anybody but you. You could be working in a cubicle right now, but seeing yourself as a seed. You might not have the money, the connections, or even the confidence yet, but if you got vision, you already got the seed. Now it's on you to water it. And listen, vision without action is just fantasy. So once you see it, once you write it, you gotta take steps, even if they're small. The road to your vision is built one decision at a time. You can't keep saying you want something and then acting like you don't. Your actions gotta match your dreams. You say you want to start a business, then study business. You say you want to get in shape, then eat right, move your body. You say you want to be a better parent, better partner, better leader, then act like it today, not when everything's perfect. Let me tell you this, vision requires faith. It requires you to believe in things you can't see yet. And sometimes it requires you to move when it don't make sense to anybody else. But that's how it works. You can't wait on conditions to be perfect. You move anyway, and the vision starts to take shape. The doors don't open until you walk toward. Every single person who ever changed their life, every success story you ever heard, started with a vision. Not money, not luck, vision. And they stuck with it even when it was hard, even when nobody believed, even when everything said it wouldn't work. Because vision don't lie, it's your future already trying to talk to you. So don't walk around blind, don't drift, don't settle for less just because it's what's in front of you. You were made for more, but in order to get to that more, you gotta see it first. Let me tell you what's gonna separate the folks who talk about it from the folks who actually do it. Consistency. That's it. That's the game changer right there. See, everybody wants to improve. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody got dreams and goals. But what most people don't have is the patience to do the little things every single day that'll get them there. They think success is one big leap. It's not. It's a whole bunch of small steps done over and over again, even when you're tired, even when it ain't fun, even when nobody's watching. You don't need to be perfect to get better. Matter of fact, perfection will paralyze you. It'll have you stuck, thinking you gotta wait until the time is right, until everything lines up, until you feel motivated. You're waiting for a perfect moment, and life's out here passing you by. Let that go. You ain't gotta be perfect. You just gotta be consistent. Now, I know they don't sound flashy. It ain't sexy. It ain't the kind of advice that goes viral, but it's real. You want to improve every day? Then do something. One thing that makes you better than you were yesterday. One push-up, one page in that book, one call you've been avoiding, one honest prayer, $1 saved. I don't care how small it is. If you do it every day, it starts to build. And what you're building is momentum. Once you get that, it's hard to stop you. I see so many people start strong, fired up, excited, and then they fall off a week later. You know why? Because they relied on motivation. And motivation ain't loyal. Motivation will hype you up on Monday and be gone by Wednesday. But discipline that shows up every day, and discipline is born out of consistency. You got to train yourself to keep moving even when you don't feel like it. That's where the real growth is. When you get up early, even though you're tired. When you go to the gym, even though you're sore. When you work on that business, even though nobody clapping for you yet. That's the grind that turns you into the kind of person who's ready for the blessing when it comes. Let me be honest with you. Improvement don't always feel good. Some days it's boring. Some days it's frustrating. You ain't gonna see results right away. But that's why most people quit. They don't understand that consistency don't bring instant results. It brings lasting results. The change don't always show on the outside first. Sometimes the biggest changes happen inside you. How you think, how you move, how you handle pressure. And that growth, that's what makes the outside success possible. You ever notice how water cuts through rock? It ain't 'cause it's strong, it's 'cause it's consistent. Drop after drop, day after day, year after year, it keeps going. And eventually it shapes that rock. That's how you change your life. Not with one big move, but with small moves over time that add up to something unstoppable. I'm telling you, it's the daily habits that make or break you. You can say you want to be great, but what are you doing every day? Are you scrolling or studying, complaining or creating, talking or taking action? You can't lie to yourself and still expect real progress. Your actions gotta match your vision. And let me say this, some days you're gonna slip. That's part of it. You might miss a day, get off track, feel like you failed, but don't you dare quit. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. Don't let one mistake cancel all the work you've been doing. Just get back to it. That's the power of consistency. It gives you a way back. You don't have to start over every time. You just keep building from where you left off. Success, growth, improvement. They don't come to the most talented. They come to the most consistent. You ain't always gonna be the smartest. You ain't always gonna be the fastest. But if you show up every day and do the work, you will win. You stay in the gym. You stay in the work. You stay working on your craft. You keep planting seeds. Eventually the harvest gotta come. That's not just hope, that's principle. I don't care what your goal is. Getting in shape, building a business, saving your marriage, changing your mindset. You do it one day at a time, one when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, but because you decided who you want to be and now you act like it every day. Whether it's hard or not, you gotta move with purpose. You don't get results from what you occasionally do. You get them from what you consistently do. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop waiting for motivation. Show up every day, rain or shine, tired or energized, inspired or discouraged. Show up anyway, because that's what growth requires. That's what greatness requires. And if you really want to improve every single day, don't aim to be flawless. Aim to be faithful. Be faithful to your habits. Be faithful to your goals. Be faithful to your future. And I promise you, that consistency will take you places talent never could. Now let me tell you this. If you really want to change your life, if you're serious about growing, about becoming a better version of yourself every single day, then you have to feed your mind. I mean that. You got to invest in learning. You got to make it a priority to expand what you know every day. Because you can't grow beyond what you know. You can't become more if your mind is still stuck in the same place it was last year, or 5 years ago, or when you were hanging with people who had no vision. See, here's what I've learned. Your life will never rise higher than your level of thinking. So if you want to go to the next level, financially, spiritually, emotionally, professionally, you got to upgrade your mind. You got to make learning a lifestyle. You got to be hungry for information that makes you better. That means reading books, listening to podcasts, attending workshops, surrounding yourself with folks who stretch you. Because growth don't happen by accident. It happens by intention. Let me break it down. When you don't make learning a habit, you stay stuck in the same patterns. You keep making the same decisions. You keep attracting the same situations. You keep responding to life the same way and wondering why nothing is changing. But when you start learning, your perspective shifts. You start seeing options where you only saw obstacles before. You start approaching problems with wisdom instead of just emotion. You stop reacting and start responding. You got to treat your mind like it's a garden. If you don't plant something positive in there every day, the weed's gonna grow by default. The world throws enough negativity, fear, confusion, and distraction at you already. So you better be pouring in some truth, some knowledge, some inspiration to balance that out. If you don't program your mind, life will program it for you. And life don't always have your best interest in mind. And listen, learning ain't about school. It ain't about degrees or diplomas. I'm talking about real-world learning, life lessons, street smarts, spiritual growth, financial literacy, emotional intelligence, learning how to communicate, how to lead, how to love yourself, how to manage time, how to bounce back from failure. That kind of learning will take you further than any piece of paper ever could. You know what separates successful people from everybody else? It's not just talent. It's not just opportunity. It's that they never stop learning. They never get comfortable. They stay curious. They keep asking questions. They read. They study. They listen. Even when they're on top, they're still looking for ways to improve because they understand growth is a lifelong game. And I'm telling you, you got a phone in your hand that can change your life if you use it right. You can use it to scroll through drama, or you can use it to listen to a sermon, a business podcast, a book on success, a motivational message. You can spend your evenings watching shows, or you can spend them growing. You'd be amazed what 20 minutes a day of intentional learning can do for your life over time. And let me say this, you don't have to learn everything at once. You don't gotta master a whole subject in a week. Just commit to learning something every day. One idea, one principle, one skill. Because what you learn today might be the key you need tomorrow. It might be the solution to a problem you ain't even faced yet. It might be the door that opens up a whole new opportunity. I remember there were seasons in my life where I didn't have much money. I didn't have access to fancy mentors or big-time coaches, but I had a library card. I had books. I had a notebook. And every day I'd study, I'd read, I'd listen, I'd write stuff down. And over time I started seeing changes, not just around me, but in me. My confidence grew, my faith grew, my mindset changed. I started talking different, walking different, expecting different things from life. And that right there, that shift, is what started bringing the blessings. Some of y'all are praying for God to open doors and He's saying, I will, but you gotta prepare first. The knowledge you gain is what gets you ready for the opportunity. You can't walk into next level blessings with last level thinking. You gotta upgrade before you elevate. And that upgrade starts with learning. And don't be afraid to unlearn some stuff too. Sometimes we hold on to beliefs and habits that ain't serving us no more. Just cause you were raised in a certain way, don't mean that's the way that'll take you where you need to go. Be willing to challenge what you thought was true. Be open, be teachable, cause a closed mind will keep you trapped in an open world. You want a better life? Start feeding your mind better information. Don't settle for gossip, fear, and distractions. Get around people who are smarter than you. Ask questions, take notes, apply what you learn, and then teach it to somebody else. That's how you grow, and that's how you help others grow too. So from now on, make it your goal to learn something every single day, on purpose, because when your mind grows, your life can't help but follow. Now let me talk to you about one of the most powerful forces in your life, the people you keep around you. See, it don't matter how big your vision is, how grateful you are, how consistent you try to be, or how much you're learning. If the folks around you are negative, small-minded, lazy, or toxic, it's gonna hold you back every time. You can't grow in bad soil. You cannot elevate if you're dragging dead weight. If you really want to improve yourself every day, you need to be real careful about who gets access to your energy, your thoughts, your goals. Some of y'all are stuck not because you don't have potential, but because you're trying to take everybody with you. You keep going back to the same crowd, the same circle, the same energy, and expecting different results. It don't work like that. You gotta stop letting loyalty keep you tied to folks who ain't loyal to your growth. Everybody who came with you can't go with you. That's just how it is. Some people were only meant for a season, and you trying to make them permanent. You trying to build a future with folks who only understand your past. Let me ask you this. When you talk about your dreams, do your people cheer you on, or do they laugh it off? Do they challenge you to get better, or do they constantly remind you of your flaws? Are they dream builders or dream killers? Because the truth is, energy is contagious. You hang around 5 lazy people, you'll become number 6. You hang around 5 broke-minded people, guess what? You the 6th. But you surround yourself with driven people, smart people, folks with faith. Folks push you, you go rise, whether you plan to or not. You need people in your corner who make you uncomfortable in a good way. Folks who ask you what's next, not why bother. People who clap when you win, not get quiet. People hold you accountable, not enable your excuses. See, real friends don't just co-sign your comfort zone. They call you up higher, and you better start listening to them, even when it stings. That correction might be the very thing that puts you on track. Now, I know this part ain't easy, because sometimes the people you need to distance yourself from are folks you love. Might be friends you've had since childhood. Might be family. Might be people you used to run with every weekend. And yeah, it hurts. I get it. But hear me when I say this. Protecting your peace, your purpose, and your progress is more important than keeping everybody happy. Growth is uncomfortable, and sometimes it means outgrowing relationships that were once your whole world. It ain't personal, it's necessary. But this ain't just about cutting people off. It's also about intentionally connecting with the right people. You gotta seek out relationships that inspire you. Get around winners. Get around people who know more than you, who think bigger, who speak life, who hold you to a standard. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. Iron sharpens iron. That means you need to be close enough to people who challenge you, who sharpen you, who bring the best out of you. And you gotta be honest with yourself, or you the kind of person other people want to grow around, because this ain't one-sided. You can't want folks to pour into you while you draining everybody around you. You gotta bring value too. You gotta be encouraging. You gotta be uplifting. You gotta be that friend who celebrates others, supports their wins, and keeps them grounded when life hits. Growth-minded people attract growth-minded people. So if you want better people around you, become a better person too. I remember a time in my life when I had to look at my circle real hard. I had to ask myself, do these people help me grow? Do they push me toward my goals, or do they keep me stuck in old habits? And it was tough because some of those folks had been with me a long time. But I realized if I didn't make room for better influences, I'd never reach the level I was called to. So I started making changes. I got around mentors. I started listening to people with wisdom. I let go of folks who only knew how to take. And slowly but surely, my life started changing. Not just because I changed, but because my environment changed. Don't underestimate the power of association. Who you spend time with is who you become. That's why it's critical you surround yourself with people who reflect the kind of future you're working toward, not the kind of past you're trying to escape. People who get it. People who see you not for who you are, but for who you can be. And when you find those people, keep them close. Invest in those relationships. Value those conversations. Let them speak into your life. Let them check you when you're wrong. Let them pull you higher. And if you haven't found that tribe yet, don't trip. Keep working on yourself. Keep showing up. The right people will come when the version of you that can receive them shows up too. Sometimes God isolates you so he can elevate you. Sometimes he removes the noise so you can finally hear his voice. Don't fight the pruning. It's part of the process. So from now on, pay attention to the company you keep. Don't just let anybody speak into your life. Don't share your dreams with people who don't have dreams of their own. Don't give front row seats to folks who only clap when it benefits them. Be intentional. Be selective. Never forget your circle can be your cage or your catalyst. Let me leave you with this, and I want you to hold it close, because it might be the most important thing I say to you today. If you're serious about improving yourself every single day, then you've got to learn how to embrace failure. Yeah, I said it. You got to stop running from it. Stop being ashamed of it. Stop letting it define you. Because failure ain't the opposite of success. It's part of it. It's how you learn. It's how you grow. It's how you find out who you really are. See, people get it twisted. They think failure means you messed up, like you done ruined your shot. Well, let me tell you something. Every successful person you look up to, admire, or try to model yourself after, they fail. Probably more than you even realize. The difference is, They didn't stop. They didn't pack it up and go home. They used the failure. They looked it in the face and said, all right, what are you here to teach me? And that's the mindset you gotta have. Because here's the truth. Growth don't come from comfort. It comes from mistakes, from missteps, from doors that slammed in your face. It comes from trying and falling and trying again. You don't become stronger by never losing. You become stronger by losing and coming back smart. That's how you build resilience. That's how you develop character. That's how you earn wisdom. The problem is too many people are afraid to look bad, afraid to start small, afraid to not have it all figured out right away. But let me ask you this. How you gonna master something you never even tried? How you gonna reach the next level if you won't risk taking a step that might not go perfectly? You can't tiptoe your way into greatness. You gotta stumble your way in. You gotta be willing to fall flat on your face. Get up, brush yourself off, and keep moving. Failure is feedback. That's all it is. It's not punishment. It's information. It's a lesson in disguise. You try something and it don't work. Cool. Now you know what don't work. Now you adjust. You retool. You get better. Every failure, if you let it, is pushing you closer to the version of you that can't be stopped. But if you let failure discourage you, if you let it convince you to quit, then you rob yourself of the very thing that was going to grow you. I've had doors slammed in my face. I've been told no more times than I can count. I've made decisions that didn't pan out, taken risks that fell through, faced disappointments that hit deep. But every one of those moments taught me something I wouldn't have learned otherwise. Every one of them was a building block. See, you don't grow in the spotlight. You grow in the struggle. You grow when it's just you, your mistakes and your decision to keep going anyway. You gotta learn how to talk to yourself when you fail. That inner voice, it matters. If you beat yourself up every time things don't go your way, you're gonna start believing you don't deserve success. But if you remind yourself, okay, this was a lesson. If you say, all right, I'm still in the game, then you train your mind to bounce back. And that bounce back mentality is what separates the folks who make it from the ones who give up. And I know it ain't easy. I know failure can hurt. I know it can embarrass you, make you question your worth, make you want to hide. But let me tell you, some of the most powerful, beautiful breakthroughs come on the other side of the failure you were scared of. You just gotta push through the pain long enough to see what's waiting on the other side. You'd be surprised what God is setting up for you if you don't quit in the middle. Stop looking at failure like a stop sign and start seeing it like a detour. You still gonna get there, it just might not be the route you had in mind. That's alright. The journey was never supposed to be perfect. It was supposed to shape you. It was supposed to prepare you for what you asked for. Cause sometimes the failure ain't blocking you. It's building you. You gotta stop taking failure so personal. It ain't a reflection of your value. It ain't proof that you're not good in matter of fact. Most of the time, failure means you were brave enough to step out when most people wouldn't. That alone makes you powerful. That makes you different. That means you're doing something worth doing. And let me tell you, when you finally get to that level you've been working for, when the doors open and the favor hits, and the opportunities start rolling in, you're not going to be thankful that everything went smooth. You're going to be thankful that you didn't give up when it didn't. You're going to look back at every failure, every rejection, every setback, and say that was necessary. Because it was. It shaped you. It toughened you up. It humbled you. It refined you. It made you ready. So don't run from failure. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't hide it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Use it. Let it strengthen your hustle. Let it sharpen your faith. Let it fuel your grind. And whatever you do, keep moving. Because if you can learn how to fail forward, you're going to win bigger than you ever imagined. Keep rising.